Welcome to the Satori Lifestyle Satori Masters podcast, the ultimate resource for ambitious, hardworking school owners that want to get their business and their life to the next level. My name is Dave Kovar. I'm a lifetime martial artist, business owner, speaker, and author. My goal is to empower listeners with the knowledge and the tools they need to break through barriers and really get their business and their life to the next level. Thanks for watching and enjoy. Welcome to the Satori Lifestyle Satori Masters podcast. I'm your host, Dave Kovar. With me, we have none other than Professor Ricardo Laborio. How are you, sir?
Master Kovar, good to see you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. I'm doing very well. I'm in Brazil right now. I'm in this place called Sergipe, which is the smallest state in Brazil. But it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You know, I was telling you, it's just amazing. The beach, the coast is amazing. You know?
Now, how long have you lived in the States now? I know you go to Brazil.
Yeah,
how long have you been
since 1999?
Wow.
You know, since 1999, I think I am almost reaching out to have the same age. I think I moved to US I was 31 years old.
So when you're 62, you'll have lived here half.
Correct.
So a couple more years.
2 years. Two more years.
So
two more years over there.
Is it nice to like visit home? You get back. I'm sure you've been going back for years, but what do you like? Is the energy in Brazil change the way you do things? I don't know. Is like America busier or what's different?
Oh, there's so many great things about America. There's so many great things about Brazil. You know, Brazil is laid back in many different ways. I think there's places in America maybe I probably don't know. There's as laid back as it is in this state that I am in right now. There's a state that I'm in right now. It's just small, and people, man, the awareness of time is very different. You know, the importance of things. Unless you don't, you know, you're about to die, you know, you're not going to move fast. But it creates some sort of a awareness of what is important. What is important?
You know, I've got to be better at that. Like you've been hustling your whole life. I have it. Sometimes I got 10 minutes, spare minutes. I don't know what to do. Like I pace my house. Like there's got to be something I should be doing right now, you know, versus just learning to just kind of chill and enjoy. It's something that I think, you know, probably you're experiencing a little more.
Funny about this. What you're talking about this, I was this weekend in my house. There's Sundays. Sunday is the only day that I really actually have it. Sundays are the only day that I have to chill, that I don't need to do anything unless I wanted to. And I just, in this space that I'm in right now, I'm just looking for things inside of the house. Oh, is that garage clean? You know, I'm saying that was
right?
just, I was putting up the furniture together. I had a couple of nightstands that I put it together, and I was really actually putting it together. It's just the pace. But and the why, the pace. Sometimes I wonder, you know, the why of the pace that we're in it. I cannot not do anything. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
It's like you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm right. I'm debating about this.
I think as long as you're, I think it's, to me, it's like, if I look at it like this, if I get to Monday and I'm like, I don't get Monday, I'm happy to go back to work, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think there's never, it would be different if it was like, you get that regret, like, oh, here it is. Then you'd probably need to pace yourself. But I think if your health is good and overall you're enjoying life, then probably what you're doing is the right thing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like to feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fact that you feel guilty if you're not doing anything. If you're not doing anything,
you shouldn't.
About
You shouldn't feel guilty, but I totally can. I completely identify. You know, like with that, I think that's partially, you know, you've pretty much done your own thing, right? And so you kind of, your success is determined by everybody's success is determined by what they do. But if you have a safe state job, you have a little more flexibility to maybe not push as hard. You're like you and I, man. If we want to put food on the table, we got to create that, and that creates that sense of urgency to kind of make stuff happen. Well, what I would love to do is, first off, you are anybody in the martial arts world knows who you are, especially in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world. You know, you are a legend. You are considered one of the best that's ever been in the game. I know you don't like to hear that. I get it, but that's the reality of it. You know, you of course started American Top Team, which was amazingly successful, and you shared a story with me about, you know, kind of your transition from that to kind of running a family martial arts school, and I think I would love for you, first off, just kind of an overview of some of your highlights highlights maybe, but the story you told me about, the UFC on a Saturday night, and then Sunday morning you're cleaning up the plumbing at I think
Yeah,
at
this is a
the
good.
school. Yeah. So just can you take us through
Yeah,
when did martial arts become, because I know you were like a stockbroker or something in a
yeah,
past
yeah. No,
lifetime.
I used to work in a bank. I
Yeah.
used to work in a bank. I went
And
to, well, I started martial arts. I was 4 years old. Judo. I always was the kind of guy that was related to, you know, I was never a team sport guy. I never liked soccer. I was the only Brazilian that never liked soccer, which is completely off that, man. I really, Master Kovar, you don't like soccer in Brazil, is something is weird with you. It's crazy. It's like rugby in New Zealand. And I never took interest in it. And I always loved judo. I always loved the martial arts. I was watching boxing and wrestling in the Olympics, and I was like, man, it was really not for me. I started from judo. I stopped doing judo. I was 10 years old. I went back with 12 years old, and I started doing taekwondo. But as you see, my legs are this short. I couldn't kick anybody, above the knee. And I just, man, this is not really for me. And I started doing, right after that, I started doing boxing before I did jujitsu. So I had
Interesting.
judo experience, do a little bit of taekwondo and boxing. And after that, and wrestling a little bit in the wrestling, after that, I started doing jujitsu. I was 15 years old. And there's something that was like, what?
That
Wait a
was
minute.
your stuff. Yeah.
That was my stuff. And it's not just that, it was the place that you fit in with the friendship, all your friends from there, all your until today, man, all my great friends, people that I see here, even in Brazil, are coming from the jiu-jitsu world. And I was living this dual life coming from jiu-jitsu, waking up. That was crazy because I always wake up super early in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. 7 o'clock in the morning, I was doing the jiu-jitsu classes. And the time that nobody was doing it. But going from there, I was going to work. I work in a bank. And
Okay.
it was a very solid, stable job in Brazil because it's called the Bank of Brazil. That you have to pass in a contest with thousands of people to get a spot in it. I did. It was just so solid. You never get fired unless you really want to leave. And I was following the steps of my father because he wanted me to do this. So even for school, I went to the school to study business administration in Brazil, which is something that was related to the banking, but really nothing to do really with me into it. But I
Got it.
I left that path completely until I decided to leave. And when I decided to leave, it was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I will never ever
It
be happy doing this.
it was kind of
And I
like it was
really,
sucking your soul from you. It
yeah,
was what society wanted
yeah,
you to do, but you knew it
yeah.
wasn't what you needed to do.
Yeah. And that was the biggest transformation for me was this because I had to leave that stable job where my parents were completely. My father was, I mean, you're crazy. Are you doing what? You're leaving the bank, and I was a manager in the bank. I was making good money. And you're leaving the bank to be a what, jiu-jitsu guy? What is? And as the time is jiu-jitsu, Master Culver, there was no jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about 1994, like 93. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. The industry wasn't there. Jiu-jitsu was
Right.
really in Brazil. 1993, UFC was created, but even
Yep.
before that, there was nothing. There was no industry. There was nothing. But I couldn't do this. It was for me. It was like I would never be good at this if you don't love it. I don't love it. I can never be very good at it. Be mediocre for not loving what I'm doing it. And
Right.
and I love being around the jiu-jitsu and the atmosphere, the industry, and I always would do something about this because the love, the passion was there. So
So
I
how
did.
were
I
you?
really decided to do it, and that was
So,
a mess. It was a mess because everybody was saying, "Don't do this. You're insane." Mother crying, the father disappointed. It was one of those moments like this guy is going to screw his life doing something
yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
you know. And I did it, and the best thing that I did in my life. In my life, I'm not saying that, hey, I'm not suggesting everybody to do the same. I was just so secure in my abilities in terms of there was one big thought, Master Kovar, that I had, and it was this. And a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, asked me this, but Libo, why do you think you're not going to be successful outside there? There's billions of people that don't work in the Bank of Brazil and they're successful. Why you don't think so? And you are good, you're a good friend. You're a good, in your relationships. You're good with your parents. You're good in a bank, even in a bank that you don't like to work with. You're a manager and you're doing very well. Why do you don't think you're not going to
Right.
be successful
That's
outside there?
powerful, man. It really is
That's
powerful.
all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
So,
say, yep, I'm doing this.
so did you like when you started teaching professionally? Because back then you weren't really making much money or any money for fighting, right? I mean,
No,
very little, not worth. So
no,
did you really start teaching professionally in America, or was that when you were still in Brazil that you were doing that?
no. Right after that, um, right after that, I started working. I started working. I left the bank, and when I left the bank, it was like, oh, this, the bills are coming in. You're thinking about the 401k, what are you going to do with the retirement? What are you going to do? Health insurance, all those things, And what I did, I leave the bank with some money. I invested as much as I could. I have a good understanding of the market it was at the time, and just to get a safety net on this thing to pay my health insurance. I remember this. There's no salary, there's nothing. Well, right after that, me and a couple friends of mine, there was me, Murillo, and other guys. We started working with a Brazilian top team, and the
Mhm.
Brazilian top team was um, it's very curious about it. The Brazilian top team was one of the best teams in the world in Brazil. I stayed there very quick, but there was a quick enough to have a good understanding. The money was not in the fighters. At the time, the biggest market there was, it was in Japan. And Japan had
Right,
the pride shows and all
right,
the other small
right.
events, right? But the money was not in the purses itself or the percentage of purses that you receive it to being trainers or managers. It wasn't that. The money was in the retail. That's
Interesting.
what it was, the
Yeah.
biggest thing. So this is what we did. So we realized this. We could make a $3 shirt in Brazil, and we take it with a bunch of other guys, 1,000 t-shirts to every event in a Pride show in bags, and we sell it for $28. So we made 25 grand per event. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
had a Brazilian top team T-shirt at some
Yeah,
point. I don't remember how I got it,
yeah,
but I had one
yeah.
back in the day.
And
Yep.
that was like, that was okay. That's the way
Okay.
that we're doing it. The brand is here. It is not really, it is really not you can't count with the guys. You can't count. It's very fickle. It's very fragile. You could not, the guy would get hurt and, you can't survive on a percentage of that. But I had this understanding there. So the brand, it was more important. Let's do the brand. And the brand has to follow, or fans, or students itself, right? But we built up from that. It was pretty interesting. It was a very good insight that we had it. And we built up this great brand called Brazilian Top Team, especially in Japan. Right after that, the American market started picking up, and I wanted to learn English. That's what it was. You know, at the time there was only one manager. The only person speaking English there was Mario Spirit. You remember
Okay.
Mario? Yeah.
Of
So and,
course.
and I said, man, I gotta learn English and I gotta go. And I decided, if I'm gonna spend some time in the US. So when I spent time in the US, when I really did, finally in 1999, 2000, I said, okay, I figured it out that this is a good chance for us to do something here. So at the time, I had this idea to, because in reality, it's this, Brazilian top team. It's not everybody's going to be cheering for Brazilian top team. If you're Japanese or if you're American or if you're European. So in my mind, it was like, okay, let's create a top teams around. We keep the same logo, different brand, but American top team, Japan, Japanese top team, and German top team. That from there it goes on. That's the goal. What it was.
Got it.
And so I sold my part of Brazilian Top Team. I got the brand of American Top Team, and we formed you know, we formed a Brazilian Top Team at a time for that thing. So
By the way, your camera just went
yeah,
out there
yeah,
too.
it just
Okay.
just got touched there.
Oh,
I'm
good.
sorry.
I like it. It was a good
Yes,
picture
sir.
though, man.
Oh, and it worked. and it worked for a while. For a while, we did, American Top Team, but I had this idea. I knew it. That was not fighters. And fighters are marketing vehicles, dollars to products and license and the biggest thing. Was the biggest thing, Mr. Kovar. I remember sitting down with Mike Metzger
Uh-huh.
on an Italian restaurant, me, Dean Thomas, and Mike Metzger in 2003, 2004. And Maya was just be launched, something like this, 2003.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even
You're
know.
right about there. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yep, something like that. It's pretty brand new. And I remember talking to Mike and we have this conversation. Oh, but I do have this world champion and that world champion and that world champion. I know this guy, we're training this guy. And Mike comes to me and remember sitting down in an Italian place and he said, but that's not enough. This is not the most important. The most important are systems. It took me a while to understand this. It took me a while to systems. Well, hold on, just systems. Okay, what is a system? And I could not really fathom what it would be transformed after that. But I knew it. I knew it at one thing. I said, okay, I gotta research who's successful and why they're successful. Why I'm here. Let me figure it out. Why they're successful, and 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 I gotta copy a model. But don't forget this, Master Cover. This is the time that there was really there was previews, real UFCs. Everything was kind of MMA was very violent, very
Right.
underground, it's really animalistic. People really actually have a lot of prejudice over this. So mixed martial arts, UFC, and you try to mix the whole thing. It was very difficult. Try to present something. That was a time that I remember talking to people. They never ever thought that BJJ, the MMA could be big, or BJJ to be in a position as it is right now,
Yeah.
which is a really great learning curve because I kind of knew it in a certain way that it would be bigger, and the place that would be bigger would be in America, was the capital of the world. But still, things change it. These things change it as jiu-jitsu is pretty big right now, but adapting, whoever's not adapting to the industry and the needs and the more systems and the research and can't foresee the future, it's not going to do well. You know,
Yeah, they got it. You got to stay relevant. You can't live in the past. We'll say you moved to Florida, you start Brazilian top team. You've got this. I remember visiting you. This would have been 2005 or six.
American
American,
top
I'm
team,
sorry, yeah,
exactly.
American top team. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sorry, yes,
American.
American
Yeah,
top team, and it's a very successful. You got a stable of over 100 fighters. It's crazy, right?
yeah,
And eventually, and I'm sure you don't regret those times at all. Like I remember, I mean, you were in every UFC, you were in a corner for a long time, and that was
yeah,
probably a fun
yeah,
time of life. But
yeah,
I know somewhere in the process you transitioned to
yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of the getting away from the fighters to kind of the common
yeah,
person and teaching them kind of give me a like a
yeah,
sense of evolution from that phase. It looks so like glorious from the outside,
yeah,
to all of a sudden, you're
yeah,
running a dojo, man, running a family
yeah,
martial arts
yeah.
center.
And I knew it for a fact, since the time of Brazilian top team, dealing with the pro fighters and everything else, that the pro team is not the solution. It's not the vehicle. I knew it that the fighters were a marketing project itself for a program they have to build up. The build up has to be something related with systems. Like I knew it, there were some systems. I don't know exactly what the systems were, but there would have to be marketing. There would have to be sales. There would have to be a continuous evolving side of the mats and the retention of people and blah blah blah. Right. So I knew that there was something in there. I don't know exactly what it was or the ideas. This is but I was very open to learn. I'm very open to learn. But a glorious part, and I was every weekend somewhere. And you should say that as glorious as it was, and it created credibility of what it was. But Master Kovar, I'll tell you this, see, I can't regret because you can't scrap the past, but that won't change anything. But I felt like I put too much time into something that really was, um, it was not even fulfilling for me, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
love the fact that I have done it and I followed the circuit. And the circus itself is a circus. UFC is a circus, right? There's a circuit, and the circus is part of the entertainment industry. But I spend too much time in places without my family, and I felt like I kind of regret in a certain way. I did
Right.
for people that really didn't have or in appreciation. I thought that was definitely, oh, this is your job. This is what it's doing, and I took it as it was. But how many Christmas, how many weekends, every weekend. I told you about this. It was traveling Wednesday. You're traveling with somebody on Wednesday. You get there on Thursday. You help them to cut weight to weigh in on Friday, to fight on Saturday, and Sunday you come back home. But in between that, always weather was a factor. The person getting hurt was a factor, and you spend more days into the place there, and there's more days with the family, without the family, more days. So there's, I'm not saying there is regret because you can't change anything. That doesn't, I do not suffer for that. I would change a couple of things, probably.
So
And
somewhere,
yeah,
so yeah, no, I'm sorry. So somewhere in the process, now here you are, fast forward, it's
yeah,
2026,
yeah,
and you are basically, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're running a family martial arts studio,
and
right?
I
I
am,
mean,
I am running a family martial arts studio, and I can say this right now. I was, I was never so happy as I am right now.
wow,
Master
so cool.
Kovar, I was never that happy as I am right now, running a family friendly environment.
Good.
I have seen it, have done it. I I dealt with so many things that crazy that only who lives in that industry, with fighting industry, was able to see it. But I would never and never experience this this sense of fulfilling the calling, the gratitude, the importance, as I'm doing right now with dealing with kids,
Yeah, I love it.
the love. It's something that I am telling you this. If I knew it about this before, I will. Oh yeah, there's one thing. I was traveling every Wednesday. I could not have it. I created systems. I got kids to school, and at the time of American Top Team, we have 750 members at one point. But I was not really directly involved with that because really I was traveling with a pros.
Well,
And now is a different world. I mean,
so I want to just put in perspective, people in the martial arts industry, they look at like, oh my, you're watching the fights, you're watching UFC, and you know
yeah,
someone that's in the ring, or you know the corner, and you're thinking to yourself,
yeah, yeah,
wow, that's the life. I'm just this guy running small town
yeah,
martial
yeah.
arts school. And it reminds me of a quote I heard. There's two ways to acquire wealth, and two ways to become wealthy. One is to acquire all you desire, and the other is to desire all you have. And how I relate this with this is that you're at a point right now to where, and maybe had you not gone through all that, you wouldn't really be, appreciating
Oh,
what you have. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It like gives you a different perspective.
100%.
But I think,
100%.
but I,
100. You're so right about this. Um, I'm I was very mature. My whole life, I was very mature in terms of you can't change your past. So I don't dwell too much in the past. Let's put it this way. I'm not a depressed person. I'm way more anxious person than to ever be depressed because it is what it is.
right.
And I trust God. I believe in God. So I believe there's something there. It happens. It's some things that you're not in control. You did what you did, and could you change something? Could you? Would you? But it's not realistic.
Yeah.
So I don't
Just,
suffer too much in the past. I really feel like, okay, what is the future now? Um, I'm really enjoying so much what I'm doing right now, but so much. And there is a chance to scale, right? There is a chance to scale what I'm having. And right now, I just feel like, okay, what do you wanted to do? What would you like to do? Would you? Because at one point in American Top Team, we have 86 schools.
Wow. Yeah.
86. I was completely unprepared for that. I was completely unprepared. I was not, I did have no grasp of everything. I didn't have the right people around me. That was just so many mistakes, you know, that for right now, would you like to spend the time, your quality time, and time is very a big thing for me right now. I suppose it
Well, I don't
really
want
is.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I want to, for the people that are out there that are listening, I want them to appreciate what you just said in that, hey man, if you're talking to some small time some martial arts school owner
Um,
somewhere to remind him and you that it's a good life, man. You know, the grass isn't greener on the other side, the grass is greener where you water it.
oh
Sometimes
yeah,
we need to just
oh yeah,
like appreciate, you know,
oh,
the impact we have on our
100%,
community and it
oh
doesn't have to
one
be this
hundred,
grand scale.
100%. And this is coming from a guy very few people I think live,
Hmm.
you know,
For sure.
realize it because like I said, 100 something fighters. I've been everywhere. I've seen champions. I've seen the best and the worst, and I have lived with some of the most craziest experience. It's like you were saying here right now. People are talking about this, right? Look, let's go to that story. So Robbie Lawler, I trained Robbie Lawler, helped Robbie Lawler at the time. He was a champion fighting against um, Johnny Hendricks, I think, Jimmy Hendricks, Johnny Hendricks, or something like this. Hendricks, and it's for the welterweight UFC World Championships, and I remember we're there. And I lived through the whole process of training with him, doing with him. I was there. And when he won, it was that amazing. That's a guy who was with us, coming from losses, returning around. He was part of the group. That's beloved, amazing, great example, blah, blah, blah. So everybody's super happy about it. So was a Saturday, like we said, right?
Hmm.
It was a Saturday. So on a Saturday night, it was the first American Top Team belt, and everybody is interviewing me and the rest of the guys, talking about the success of American Top Team. And it was an amazing time. And I had it was a great and fulfilling moment, as a coach. I really had other champions before, but that was like, okay, that was legit as it can be,
Right,
right?
right.
What people don't know, and this is a conversation that we had, right? I got there Sunday and I got a text message on my way actually home. Um, and my cleaning lady quit. And I remember Sunday at 4 o'clock in the morning, actually Monday, 4 o'clock in the morning, at 4 a.m., me and my sister were at the gym cleaning up all the mats and toilets and everything. I remember scrubbing the toilet and thinking, man, I was in heaven yesterday. I was really in heaven.
And here
I
I am
was a
scrubbing the
coach
toilets
of
at the
the
dojo.
champions and best team in the world, and probably everybody interviewing. And we have a. I remember, Daniel Cormier and all those guys. Everybody interviewing us. Everybody in the industry talking to us about how amazing it was, and blah blah blah, and Robbie Lawler, and blah blah blah, and we were part of that. And a few hours later, I'm really literally scrubbing the toilets, literally.
I
And
love
it was
that
like,
story.
and that's so true. And that is so true. And I was like, for whoever thinks that, the grass is greener on the other side, and that peak, when you go over there and you say, I'm going over there now, maybe I have a better feeling of what the world is. The world is now. The
Yeah,
world is
that's
today.
so that's so powerful. Well, hey
The
man,
world is today. You're right.
in the few minutes we have here, I just what advice struggling martial artists, some guys out there running the school, they're getting by, they're wondering about, how they can get to the next level. What would you tell them? What advice would you give someone that's trying to get their
Yeah.
martial arts academy off the ground or get to the next chapter? What jumps out
Master,
for you?
Master Kovar, let me tell you this is something that I was good at it. I guess, I guess I'm very proud to say that I was very open to receive mentorship. and I'm not just saying this because you are here, and you know this, Dave. I'm telling you this. You know it. I've told you this a million times. But if you are right now struggling, it's because you did not reach out to people like you, Master Kovar, or the Maya guys, or
Sure.
one of the
There's
biggest
so many good guys out there to
yeah,
follow.
one of my biggest mentors, Zulfi Ahmed,
Sufi's
Master
amazing.
Zulfi.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yes. Yes.
go there
Yes.
because
Yeah.
even the power of what we have, it's not the knowledge that we have, it's the network that we have it.
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
network. And Master Cover, do you know this person or do you know somewhere that you can't, I have difficulties with this and this. And the world it would open. It's no, but I know somebody who can help you. I know that this person is this. And this powerful network is priceless,
Yes.
unbeatable. It's unbeatable. That's so find a mentor. Find a mentor that will find at least you may not like to hear, but they will find some reasons the why you're not being successful. And
Love it.
you may not change anything. You may not like to hear what it is, but I'm very fortunate about one thing. I love what I'm doing. I really do. And I love even when I'm there. When I'm there, sometimes I get so tired. When I'm there, I got invigorated and rejuvenated. Like when I'm there, teaching classes with kids,
Yeah.
4-year-old kids. That man, I feel the love. I feel it. I'm not saying that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life and everything
Right.
else. I
Right. No,
got,
I got it. But
you know what I'm saying. But I have to say that I'm blessed. I feel like I'm blessed. I know that I'm blessed, and it's true. It's undeniable. It's nobody can nobody can say it's a lie. It's
yeah.
impossible to
Yeah.
say this is a legit feeling that this is a lie. This guy is lying in front of the. It's impossible. It's very easy. You know.
You know that you can feel your sincerity and I know you and I know your heart and you're such
Yeah.
a good guy. And one of the things that I take away for people that what a strategy that I learned this from Firebor Zujak, who got it from Sensei Benny the Jet Urquidez.
Mm.
And that was you go in your school every morning. And when you the first thing you do, you put the key in the door because we all got stuff we have to deal with all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
take a breath and you think about how appreciative you are to be able to do this. Then you walk in the dojo, and every morning I walk through. And you've been to our headquarters school. It's a nice big, and it doesn't matter the size
Yeah.
of the school. It doesn't that none of that
Yeah.
matters.
But
But
it is
man,
a
I
very nice and big place
yeah,
for
but
sure.
you try to take in. It doesn't. It could be 600 square feet. It doesn't matter. But you try to take in like why you keep your why really strong. Like and you appreciate what it is that we're doing, why we're doing it. And when I do that, when I take the time to kind of be present at the start of the day, all the challenges that are coming my way, man, they're
Yeah.
easier to deal with because I'm starting from the right place. And sometimes we forget to do that, to kind of take a breath and to appreciate what they have, right?
And this is the hardest part, right? The hardest part is live without comparison, right? It's very hard to live without comparison. Am I doing well? Is that in the future? It is gratitude change
Yeah.
things. Gratitude change things. Sometimes very, very bad things have to happen to you so you appreciate things that you have it right now. This is terrible. It is not terrible that you lose your health so you can understand how healthy you are right now.
It's so important. You don't have to lose things. You just have to take accountability. You have to remember, like how many times have you've misplaced something when you got it back. Boom. It's taking making a conscious effort of saying, hey man, running a martial arts school is friggin' hard work. Yeah,
Yeah,
but guess what? What's easy and who cares? Look how lucky we are to be able to
yeah.
pursue our dream and to impact our community in the way that we can. Well, Professor, I'm gonna give you your time back. I so appreciate your friendship and your time, your gracious time on the short notice, taking this call and being a part of the podcast. And I'm looking forward to. I know I'm going to be out your way in March, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having
Master
dinner with you.
Master Kovar, it's such an honor. I told you this. You're one of the unanimous human beings in our industry. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. You
Hey,
know this. This is something really. So for people that listen to right now, what is the suggestion that you have it? Find a good mentor. Find somebody who knows more than you. Leave your ego alone. Just put it on the side of right now. Hey, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. It's not about martial arts. It's people. It's about us. It's
Yeah.
about us and how we're helping others and so influential, like you're saying, in the community. So it's not what martial arts you do. It's really not about what you teach. It's really the systems and find the love into it. That's what it is. We go
Love it,
from there.
sir. Love it, sir. Well, thank you for your time. Have a great time in Brazil, and I will see you
Yeah,
next month.
I truly appreciate it. I'll see you next month.
Thank
Say
you.
hello to everybody from me.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in today to our podcast. I hope you found it valuable and inspirational. To stay connected, please subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you go for your podcasts. If you enjoyed today's show, please give us a 5-star review. And we really sincerely would appreciate some feedback. Your feedback helps us to create high quality content that will help others in the future. If you'd like to follow me, you can go to Dave Kovar on Facebook or Haunchie Dave Kovar on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on next episode.